right, everybody, welcome to Wednesday. How you guys doing? Let's see what's going on. Today we will start our Accelerate Your Ascension program. It's a mentorship program. If you have questions about your twin flame journey, or you're in a dark night of the soul and you're looking for a community of people who are going through ascension symptoms, and you want to kind of understand what's happening to you, that starts today. We're going to be doing an ongoing mentorship about moving through your spiritual path journey. Twin flames are invited, okay? Because there's an extra special burden on you guys. So that's starting this afternoon. Tomorrow we're starting the Master Your Birth Chart class. It's an ongoing mentorship, same as what we're doing today. So we're going to take topics and go deep into them so you can understand when we have transits, what do they mean for me? That's what will help you understand with your own birth chart, okay? So those two things are happening. If you like the content I create, please hit like, share, or subscribe, or all three, or whatever you want to do. That way you'll get notified when I make new videos, and also it does help the channel, so I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. You will only see the way by making the way. This card haunts my dreams. It really does. It's like that Ace of Wands that he's holding. This is definitely about an unclear... Oh, and he has a little butterfly. Look at that. There's a little butterfly in the picture with him. It's unclear what to do next. Hence a tarot reading, right? Polish your mirror for perfect clarity. This has jumped out a couple of times in the last few days. Your 11-year-old self. This is about activating your creativity. And I do feel like as we move closer to the new moon in Aquarius, we're going to be asked to innovate and update and shake out anything that is stagnant or stuck, and really make that move, really take that action. All right, so I feel like this has to do with seeing the path. And it's the way to see the path is to get creative, right? Is to step into your creativity. So it's not going to be a logical process. It's going to be more like activate that 11-year-old self, and the creativity that flows from that is going to give you some answers, right? If you draw or paint or play music or dance or do any kind of crafty thing or make jewelry, whatever it is, or poetry or music, whatever you feel activates your creative soul, that's what's being asked of you right now. Underneath is this Nine of Swords. This is how we're really going to heal our anxiety. So a lot of you who are starting the Accelerate Your Ascension program, you've talked to me through a lot of emails about anxiety, and I'm going to talk a lot more about self-care. I actually have a really good book that I want to share with you guys in the Accelerate Your Ascension program. It's about finding your calm, okay? And I have a whole lot of activities, and not creative activities, but like oops, sorry, that goes here. A lot of healing actions that are going to promote your creativity and move you away from this anxiety. I feel like a lot of you in 2022 had a rough sled. I think 2022 was a rough sled for a lot of people. All right, here we go. Chariot, a change of scenery. What is it? A change is as good as a rest. The Queen of Cups, the King of Swords. I've been seeing a lot of them recently. Ace of Swords, King of Wands. Three of Wands. Nine of Wands, more creative energy. High Priestess, I like that. Hanged Man. Wow, this is surrendering to your intuition. We talk a ton about accessing your own intuition on this channel. And you may not have put it together. So I'm going to say this to you. The only way to see the way, you will only see the way by making the way. Now, this is about someone who is actively looking for a physical thing. This is a spiritual sight, spiritual seeing of the path. And some of you may not put it together that that's thinking. More connected to your spiritual, to your high self, to spirit, to your spirit guides, to angels, to your connection to the universe. Some of you may not see that as critically or as importantly as it is. Your intuition, when you are in kind of a peaceful place, is louder than when you're in crisis. And so when you're in a peaceful place, it's important to see it, to know what the voice sounds like. Because if you don't know what the voice sounds like in peacetime, you certainly won't know what it sounds like in the middle of a war, in the middle of a clash, in the middle of a tragedy, in the middle of something collapsing on you. You won't be able to, because everything else will be louder. So this is asking you right now to cultivate more even than you did, more even than you have. So you know what the voice sounds like. Because I do feel like we are being asked to heal our own inner anxieties, quiet the inner anxieties. This is what meditation does. So you can hear the voice. So you can hear your own truth. You can hear your own connection to spirit. And then you can manifest based on that expression, based on that relationship that you're creating. And a lot of times when we go through any kind of experience that is either stressful or difficult for us or anything like that, we kind of lose the thread of our intuitive voice. Being able to identify, trust, and take action moving forward, right? The Chariot card here. Being able to take action on that, having the confidence to say, yep, okay, that's my guidance, I'm going to do it. Takes practice. Takes practice. I feel like this is saying to you, if you haven't really done that, it's really time to start now, because you'll only see your next steps on the 5D path because they're coming from inside you. They're coming from your connection to God, your connection to spirit, not from external sources, because what's going to be going on in the external world is going to be swirled up and challenging and triggering and all of these other things. Triggers are good things because they show us what is subconsciously driving fears. That's what anxiety in the middle of the night is all about. Our triggers are showing us the roadmap to peace. It's showing us, why did I have such an outsized reaction to that? Why did that bother me so much? Why can't I let this go? Why can't I just turn the page here? Why am I stuck, dealing with this? Why can't I quit you? Like all these things. The triggers are showing us the boundaries and the guardrails of our own unconscious drivers. What is driving us that we're not consciously aware of? And if you sit in meditation and if you really activate this creativity, if you really do this, then you'll have such a strong connection to spirit that no matter what is going on around you, you'll be able to navigate it. And if that's not something you've ever been able to do before, then this is kind of calling you out a little bit, like, hey, get on the trail, because your heart and your mind, right, know the difference between what's going on in your heart chakra, what's going on with your connection to spirit. Your intuition is your feelings. If you're cutting yourself off from feelings, you're cutting yourself off from your roadmap. Now, Ace of Swords, seeing clearly what I have to do. And part of it is, okay, I'm going to work with the universe. It's not like you have a choice. But a lot of people resist it. A lot of people push back. A lot of people say, no, no, no. I want to do what I want to do. And, consequences be damned. But then if you're doing something that is harming you or that is not aligned with your path. You're going to get, spirit always draws you back to the path. So this is why paying attention to repeating numbers, paying attention to signposts along the road are, all of those things are critical. And when you're in a stressful situation, it's exponentially harder. So right now, before we have this new moon, we just had a full moon in Cancer, and that full moon, I did a lot of videos on it. You can search for them right here on the channel. That full moon in Cancer was about reassessing situations and what is not in alignment with my heart. And why does that matter? Because that's your connection to spirit. Your heart is like the drum beat of spirit or something like that. I heard someone talking about that one time, and I was like, oh, I love that. The heart drum beat of spirit. That's just coming through to me that I haven't heard that in years. So let me do a little clarifying here. This Three of Wands. Three of Swords, the World, Judgment, wow, and the Four of Wands. In my head, I heard the question, what are you waiting for? And some of you are waiting for a person to make a different decision, somebody else to make a different decision. I don't feel like that's going to be happening. Okay. I feel like you're waiting for someone to completely change course, radically change course. All right. So some of you, this is a message just for some of you. Some of you have, some of you have been sitting in the not moving forward because you're waiting for another person to do something. And this reading is not at all about that. This reading is like, regardless of what the other person is doing, you do you. You've got to move down the road for yourself, because what's coming, the World and the Judgment card is a massive crossroads that is going to bring you to your best and highest bliss. It's going to bring you to a new place. And the only way of getting there is to break with a current situation. All right. Break with a current heartfelt path that at one point was your path. The King of Swords and the Ace of Swords is, there's some aha moments, not tower moments, but there's some like, oh, yeah, this isn't working for me. I have to say it out loud. And sometimes when you go through those things, you have this mindset that you don't have a choice. Okay. And when I had a business, I don't know, this was in 2013, 14, 15, and it was draining me a lot. And I didn't think that I had a choice. I thought I had to keep moving on it and doing it and everything like that. And at the time I had this, this friend who lived not too, like across the street or down the street from me where I was living. And she was not a big player in my life. She was someone who was part of the neighborhood that I saw infrequently, but she was a high priestess. And also somebody who was really known for her wisdom. She was probably in her 80s. I just loved her. I love her. I hope she's still doing well. And I said, I was stressing with the business, and she was like, why can't you just do something else? And I was like, well, I can't. What do you mean? Like, this is how I make my money. This is how I earn. She's like, but it's not doing that. It's not doing that. You're stressing by the fact that it's money in, money out. Like, it's not working. And I was like, oh, that's true. She's like, why don't you just do something else? And I was like, I didn't think I could. I didn't think I was able to make that decision because I didn't know what was next. And so I hung on and hung on and hung on until finally I didn't really have a choice. I had to jump. I had to make a new decision. And here we are with the channel. But she said to me, and it was so freeing, that I didn't have to prove something about what I was doing. That I didn't have to prove that everything's always a success. you know, what is that thing about Lake Wobegon where all the children are above average, right? Like, you know, I didn't have to, nobody else cared as much as I did about, am I going to be viewed as a failure? Is this something that is on my path and I shouldn't leave it? Why is it trying so hard to leave me? I've got to prove something that I can pull it back from the edge and everything. She's like, why? And it was just my upbringing that basically said, and this was wrong about me, that you don't have any follow through, that you can't finish things, you can only start things. And I took that to heart, and that was a trigger for me, that I couldn't just put something down because it was done or it was played out or it wasn't. I didn't have to go on with that. It was a charade. And so her lack of awareness of all the things pinging around in my head that basically were like, well, this is going to happen if you dump this. This is going to happen if you stop doing this. What about this? What about that? Scary, 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 scary. All the scary triggers. And she was just so, she turned it upside down for me. She gave me a new perspective that was basically like, why can't you just move on from it? It's not working for you. Why are you holding on? And that day, I was able to step into my 11-year-old self, my creativity, because I was like given, it was like I was being given a magic wand, or I was being given an opportunity, which I didn't need anybody to give me the opportunity, but it did help me that I said, that she said to me, well, why can't you just move on? It was like, get out of jail free, or it gave me permission to change my perspective, to go a different road, and to be excited about it. All right. So if you're living in that, there is something here about turning your back on something that you might long have expected to work out for you or something like that. But the truth is, King of Swords, Ace of Swords, it's just not working. So now you have this opportunity between this full moon in Cancer and the new moon in Aquarius to innovate, to make some changes, to embrace your future. So what are you going to do about that? All right, let's see where we go. I'll pull cards for each zodiac sign to give you some individual guidance, and we'll finish the reading. Link is below if you want to continue on with me. Why not? See you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.